Hi, this is a Volt Vectors video, and in this video we're going to go over the Embeddings and Vector Profiles tab found in the Options. So we're here on the Options, and I'm going to go over to the Embeddings and Vector Profiles tab. Quick review of the settings here. We've got embedding enabled post types. These are the post types when you create embeddings that will be available, so it will search all this content. When you are creating an embedding, it will use the title, content, and default WordPress taxonomies. So if you're using custom fields or custom taxonomies, you want to include that in the embeddings. You want to use a filter to add that data. You can look for that filter on voltvectors.com and how to use it. So right now I've got post pages and docs. So the next part is the profile section. I'll come back to this real quick. I just want to show you the default profile section. The default profile section allows you to select which one you want to be your main profile when you create new embeddings or chats. So for this case, I've got Volt Simple Default Chunks. So when I create an embedding over here or a chat, this is the first profile it's going to save to. I can always change it to the other one, but if that's what I want it to be a default. Okay, so the profiles. So the profiles are the heart of the system. It allows you to create an unlimited amount of profiles. You just do that by hitting that, and you can create a description and choose the service. Right now the service is OpenAI, and you've got your AI model. You're going to set the API key. You can choose your vector database. We've got Pinecone and Simple MySQL right now, and then different parent retrievals. So I'm going to go into detail about the vector databases in a video for each one. For right now, let's talk about the options down here and the AI model. So let's go. So OpenAI as a service, we're using embeddings here. You're saying, what is an embedding? Well, what it does is it takes text, and you can take other things too, but like images. But it takes text, it creates high dimensional vectors out of it, and then it uses that to compare. So like when someone types in the chat, how are you? It'll create an embedding and try to compare it to all your embeddings that are created in this website. And it will find the most relevant ones and then use that as context for the LLM to send back what you were looking for. So we're using OpenAI right now. It's the best one. That might change in the future. These profiles allow you to change and update that in the future. We can add that service. So how do you get embeddings? The next part of that is, well, you can use that. You create embeddings on this over here, create new embeddings. That's its own video. But for here, we've got some options for the profile. So by default, we have parent retrieval. So with parent retrieval, we're trying to balance, accuracy and large chunks with larger chunks. So we have the smaller sentence chunks will improve accuracy of comparing embeddings, and then you provide the LLM the larger chunk so that it has more context around it and it can give a better response. So right now they have the chunk size here. So there's no like set formula what's is best. This is a good default. So it could change per embedding. It could change for a group of embeddings. You could have a bunch that use this default. You could have some that really need 2,000 chunk size or they're not going to work well. You can change them so that the overlap is a little bit smaller. You can change where you need a little more overlap because it's losing context. You can change the sentence minimum. So it's kind of really playful. That's why all these profiles are useful, because you could create different profiles for your different chunk settings and then use that to generate your embeddings. And then you only just need, basically just needs to be OpenAI model for your chat, and it will be able to utilize all those different embeddings when it's comparing them. So those are different options. You can also disable parent retrieval, and that means instead it will just use the larger chunk size here for comparing, and the context will be the same thing. So it might be a little less accurate, but there'll be less embeddings in the system. Once you've created all this though, you can hit save, and I'll put it here. You can also come back and say, well, no, I didn't really want that one. You see, it should be here too. Yep, so we got there, and then you can hit delete and remove it. So we're about deleting. You need at least one of these set up where all your embeddings are stored, or else the system won't work. If you do delete one, it doesn't change any of the embeddings that are existing, as long as you still have one that's, so if you create it, say, under Simple MySQL, you need one that at least Simple MySQL to access all those embeddings. Same thing with Pinecone, same thing if when other services are added. So you just need at least one that has those, and it'll work. But if you delete them all, the whole system doesn't work.